The Honourable Mark Patterson.
Mr Speaker, well, it's finally happened. Labor have announced a policy, and I have to disagree somewhat with my national colleague because we do think it has some merit. We do believe in New Zealand ownership of our assets. Our main issue is it's one of our policies, one that the Right Honourable Winston Peters announced some 14 months ago at our 2024 convention. They're like a cheap tributes band. I see them more as Cliff Richard in the Shadows, and I see us as a bit more like the Rolling Stones, but it's so lacking in originality in terms of a policy platform. Of 2 years of policy seances, that's the best they could come up with. A pale, cheap rip-off of our $100 billion sovereign wealth fund announced some 14 months ago. But I will give it something, at least Chris Hipkins knew that this policy was being announced. Look, it is a tepid toe on the water. It is lacking the grunt of the New Zealand First original. It is not big, it is not transformational, and it is not nation building like the policies that we'll be taking to the election. New Zealand First has a track record. The fast track legislation that we proposed and brought in through this coalition agreement. We've been proponents of the fast track, proponents of the Regional Infrastructure Fund and its predecessor, the PGF. We've been champions through Shane Jones of mining, agriculture and energy, through the supercritical geothermal, big nation-building things, jobs, growth in our regions. And my favourite, Mr Speaker, is the efforts we're putting in to reviving the New Zealand wool industry. Mr Speaker, wool is coming back. We are witnessing the revival of this great fibre. We have a massive heritage in wool. And New Zealand has been literally built off the sheep's back. And the turnaround is on. Strong wool, I should have told the Prime Minister this, that he could have quoted it earlier. Strong wool, up 32% this year. Fine wool, up 34%. And mid-micron wool, up 41%. 9-year highs, and most of that in the last few weeks. A surge in demand for New Zealand wool and a strong tailwind and a return to natural fibres. It's biodegradable, it's flame retardant, it's moisture absorbent, it's anti-allergenic, it's carbon negative. There are no microplastics and it doesn't need treated with toxic PFAS forever chemicals. Todd McClay wants to eat it, it's that good. And it's a miracle fibre which synthetics can't compete. And this revival hasn't happened by accident. There has been strong leadership from the government, and the sector is rallying. It is uniting. This famously disparate industry is coming together. We are consulting with farmers on a wool alliance. Some groups aligned with wool coming together for the promotion, advocacy, skills development and R&D, an industry good body for which we haven't seen for over a decade and a half. The government has put its money where its mouth is. New Zealand First and National and our coalition agreement to put wool back into government buildings. Yes, that drives demand, but has shown an important market signal and one that has been picked up not just domestically but internationally. If we're not prepared to use wool in our own buildings, how can we ask anyone else? We've invested in innovation, developing higher value end uses. It will not only be more carpets and insulation, it'll be air filtration, sanitary, medicinal products, breaking into component parts, pigments, particles, powders, bioagents for dyes and nutraceuticals. That's transformation, that's $100 a kilo opportunity. We're not only changing the game, we're moving onto a whole new playing field. We're shortening supply chains and strengthening links between global suppliers and our growers right here in rural New Zealand. And it gets even better. Investment is coming to onshore manufacturing, not just exporting the raw materials, adding value for New Zealand, in New Zealand, and creating jobs in our regions. Mr Speaker, I'm determined that wool will be one of the great comeback stories of New Zealand agriculture, adding to its storied heritage, restoring pride for our growers and wool harvesters and much needed profitability back for our hard-working hill country farmers. Our sector is determined to play our part and make our contribution to doubling New Zealand's exports. Thank you.